Recorded.
Right. So, what do you know about these bitwise operators? Bitwise operators. Right. What do you know about these bitwise operators? Right. In the last session, we have covered the basic operators, right? So, the basic operators. We covered arithmetic operators, right? Then we have covered relational operators. Then we have covered logical operators, right? So as part of this session, we'll look into this bitwise operators and ternary operator. Okay, right. So what are the different bitwise operators we have? Bitwise operators, if you look at bitwise AND operator, bitwise OR operator, right? Bitwise OR operator, bitwise exclusive OR, and we have bitwise shift operators. We have shift operators as well. What are the shift operators? Like we have right shift operator, left shift operator. Let's understand this. So as I told you in the previous session, okay, so it's like bitwise operators in general, regular programming, we might not use it. These are like dealing with the bits, right? So basically, when you are developing some um, encoding algorithms, okay, security related algorithms, okay, or if we are like working in any embedded platforms, chip related software development, so where actually it interacts with the OS, okay, so there you can probably use this, but in general regular web development we might not use it, but depends on the requirement. Yes, you got a requirement where you wanted to use this, yes, of course you can use it. Okay, so here we have bitwise and or exclusive or and shift operators, left shift and right shift operators. Let's understand this. Okay, so these bitwise operators applies on two operands. This can be applied on two operands. On two operands. When I say operands, so variables, nothing but variables. So meaning that I can say x value as 10, y value as 5, then I can apply x and y. I can do this, right? So now the point here is how it is going to operate is it converts this 10 decimal number into binary format. Into binary format. So when I say binary format, okay, when I say binary format, what is the equivalent value for this 10? It's 1010, and we do represent in 8 bits format, okay, 000 and 1010. This is the value of it. And when you look at this 5, so the equivalent number for 5 is what? So should be like 0 101. Is that correct? Is that correct? So this is going to be 2 square, right? 2 square is what? 4, and this is going to be 1, right? Correct? Is it correct or not? You have to tell me. It's a basic conversion, okay, decimal to binary conversion, okay, right. So here we have x and y. So when I apply this x and y, how it is going to perform? So it applies the logic on each bit, okay. So again we have a table to perform these operations, right? So it like you can assume that this is a false, you can assume this as a true, like 0 represents false, 1 represents what? True. Now when you apply AND case, when I say AND, okay, when I say AND, both must be true, right? When both the variables are true, then you can say the result will be true. Otherwise what? It's going to be false. So here 0 1 0 and 1, it becomes 0. 1 and 0 becomes 0. 0 and 1 becomes 0. Come on, all zeros. Something is wrong that we did. Okay, come on, why are you not responding? Okay, let's give a try. So let's give a try. Int x equal to 10 into y equal to 5. Okay, int x equal to 10, y equal to 5. Now I am just going to print system out println of okay x and y, that's it. So I have already saved it. Let me go to command prompt where I have saved my program. cd java c. Okay, here I have saved my program java c bitwise operators java. Can you hear me, Shankar and Aditya? Hello. Hello guys, are you there? Yeah. Oh, fine. So now I'm just running this. So the value is what? 0. So which means whatever our analysis right? So this is, if you convert this into decimal format, what is the value? It's going to be 0. Okay. Now in the similar way, so you can apply OR condition. You can apply OR. So if you apply OR, how it is going to work? The whole story here is what about, you should understand this AND condition and OR condition on bits. So 1 represents true, okay, 0 represents false. Okay, 1 represents true, 0 represents what? False. Okay, so 1 is true, 0 represents what? False. Okay, now if you apply this on bits, so meaning that 1 and a 0, 1 and a 0 will be what? It will be 0. It's something like true and false. With AND operation, it's going to be what? False. 1 with R 0, so it's going to be what? So it's OR condition, right? Either any one of these true, the result is going to be true because it's OR condition, right? Then so you can play with 1 and 1. So now both are true. Then in this case, the result will be what? True, right? So in a similar way, you can apply 1 or 1. Of course, any one of them is true, then the result will be true. But in this case, both are true. When both are true, obviously the result will be what? True. The result will be true. Correct. So this is a basic operations, how it works when you apply these operators on the bits. Okay. Now we have something called exclusive OR. We'll look at that also. Okay. Now, so let's calculate this. Okay. So these are all zeros anyhow. Okay. All these are zeros, and 1 or 0. 1 or 0. What is the value of 1 or 0? It will be 1, because it's OR case. If any one of the bit is 1, the result will be what? 1. So here also it will be 1, here also it will be 1, here also it will be 1. So all ones, right? What is the equivalent value of this case, right? What is the equivalent value for this? You just need to you just need to convert this into decimals. Okay, this is 2 cap 3, meaning that 2 cube plus 2 square, right? 2 square plus, okay, 2 cap 1 plus 2 power 0, right? 2 cap 0. What is the equivalent value of this? 2 cube is what? 8 plus 2 square is what? 4. It's just 2 and plus anything power 0 is 1. Okay, now if you convert 8 plus 4 12, 12 plus 2 12 plus 2 is what, 14 plus 1 15. The value is 50. So is that correct or not? Just let's execute this. Okay, that's what we analyzed over there, and we are seeing the output. So recompile because we modified the source. Executing. What is the value? 50. So we are analyzing in the right way. Okay, so hope you know this calculation, or let me know you need explanation about this. Okay, this is just conversion from binary to decimal format. Do you know this, how I'm converting, or do you want me to explain it? Aditya, you know, right? Shankar, you are comfortable with this, right? No need much explanation on this. Okay, perfect. So in the similar way, so exclusive OR. So can you guys tell me now what is the value of this exclusive OR? What is the output for this? Tell me, like if I apply exclusive OR, what is the output? What is the output? Tell me. So when I apply exclusive OR, what is the output? Okay, I'm just applying exclusive OR. What is the output? You calculate and let me know what is the output. All ones. So meaning that 15, you are going to get 15. So meaning that how it is going to work. Okay, so go back to the bits here. Okay, one with exclusive or one with exclusive or 0. So what will be the result here? Tell me now. What is the result of this? So the exclusive or is going to work when both the bits are different. When both the bits are different bits, then it's going to evaluate to true, right? So if the bits are same, so exclusive or 1 with 1, so this leads to what? This gives what? 0, and 0 exclusive or 0, bits are same, then it leads to 0, and 0 with 1, 1 or 0 same, right? So 1 with 1, 0 with 0, right? So this is how it evaluates, correct? If bits are same, then it evaluates to 0. Bits are different, then it evaluates to 1. That's how it works. So now if you see here, exclusive or all these bits are same. Okay, so zeros. These bits are different. 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 1. So it likes like exclusive or and or in this case would be same, but doesn't need to same always. Okay, so go back here and see the output. So 50. Okay, so that's how it works. The operators, bitwise operators works in this way. It's simple. In a similar way, we have shift operators. Okay, shift operators, how it is going to apply the shift operator is on a single variable with how many bits you wanted to shift. Okay, I have a x value here. I wanted to shift 2 bits to its right direction. To its right direction. Okay, so what is the value of 10? This is the value of 10. Okay, this is the value of 10. So this is the value of 10. So this I wanted to shift the bits. Okay, these are 8 bits. I wanted to shift to its right direction. How many bits? 2 bits, meaning that so this bits and this bit we are going to move it to its right direction. Okay, to its right direction. So meaning that I'll get a 0 and 1. Okay, it will be moving in this direction, right? In this direction. So we are going to lose these bits, and always like it has to fill up the 8 bits format always. Okay, it should be like 8 bits, 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so I have total 8 bits. Okay, the last 4 bits, if you look at 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Now I'm losing these 2 bits because I'm shifting this. I'm losing these 2 bits, meaning that this bit comes to this place, this bit comes to this place, and all these side bits coming to shifting to its right direction. And the last 2 bits, like these 2 bits, going to be empty because these 2 bits are shifting to its right direction. So whatever it is become empty, right? So we'll just keep with the zeros. We'll just make with the zeros. We'll fill with the zeros. We'll fill up with the zeros. So meaning that what will happen? So this number becomes what? This number becomes 0 0. These are extra 2 zeros. I am filling it up. The 4 zeros will be as it is, and 1 0. The remaining the last 1 0 bits we are going to lose. So now, so this is what the result of it. And what is the result of this 1 0? It's just 2, right? The value of this is 2, right? So 2 power 1. That's what 2. So the value is what? 2. If you do this x right shift operator 2, I'm going to get value as 2. Right? So we are going to lose the data. We are going to lose the value. In case of right shift, we are going to lose the value. So come on, it's 0. Okay, is it compiled and 4 0? How come it is 0? Oh my bad. Why I am giving? So 2 I have to give, right? Okay. So here I just explained with the number 2, not y. Okay. So x right shift operator 2. So the value is 2. Okay, the value is 2. That's what we are going to lose the data. Original data is 10, but after right shift to 2 bits, so we are losing the 2 bits, and the result will be what? We are losing the data. In a similar way, you can apply this shift operator. In this case, what will happen? So it's going to gain the bits. It's going to lose the left hand side bits, right? So meaning that out of 4 bits, so this is what our actual value, right? So out of 4 bits, the first 2 bits are going to lose. Okay. Now how many bits I have? 4 plus 2, 6 bits. So but ultimately I need to fill it up the remaining bits, right? The remaining bits I'm going to fill it up in the right side, because so it is moved in this direction, and the last 2 bits going to be empty. Those bits I'm filling it up with what? Zeros. Right now, what is the value of it? So here it's going to gain the value. Here it's going to gain the value. So 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2, 3. This is what 2 cube. 2 power 4, 2 power 5. 2 power 5 is what? 32 plus 8. 32 plus 8 is what? 40. So we are going to gain the value in the left shift. Okay, we are going to gain the value in the left shift. So that's how we can just use this left shift and see the value. Okay, the value is 40. So that's how it works. Okay, left shift and right shift operators. Left shift and right shift operators. It works like gaining the value in case of left shift, losing the value in case of right shift. Okay, so that can be 2 bits you can give, 3 bits you can give, depends. Okay, right. So we have tilde operator also. We have tilde operator, one more operator. That's what tilde operator. So you can apply this on a variable. Okay, so you can see this. So here, can we apply this on numbers? So negation, what it is going to do? It's just going to flip the bits. Okay, negation, we call this as negation. Okay, run this and see the value is what? Minus 11. So this is going to be a complement operator. This is going to be a complement operator. So I have taken a value 10 Okay, I have taken a value 10, and the equivalent bits representation for 10 is 1010. Okay, 1010. Now I am just applying the complement. Okay, negation. The tilde operator is nothing but negating it. Okay, so negating it. So meaning that it's going to flip the bits. All 0 0 becomes 1 1 1 1, and 0 1 0 1. So this is the actual value after flipping it. And this, what is the value of this? This is equivalent to minus 11. Okay, but so you can't calculate as we are calculating here to power how we are calculating here. Okay, so here this complement operator always gives the negative number. Okay, negative number, and there is no way of representing a negative. There is no way of storing negative values in the memory. Negative values in the memory. So this is going to be like, this is going to be 2's complement of the number 11. This is going to be 2's complement of number 11. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you guys. If you are familiar, that's okay, we can discuss, otherwise we can ignore. Okay, so anyhow, this is going to be 2's complement of this number 11. Okay, number 11. So here, what is the value of what is the value of 11? 0 0 0 1 0 1 1, right? So you apply one's complement on this. Okay, so this is the 11 representation. Now to get the negative value, we need to apply 2's complement. Okay, 2's complement. So first, 1's complement, if you apply 1's complement, okay, there is a concept of 1's complement where you are flipping the bits, so when you apply 1's complement, this is going to be what? 1 1 1 1. Okay, 1 1 1. Now here it becomes what? 0 1 0 0. This is what 1's complement. On top of it, we need to apply the 2's complement. When you apply 2's complement, is nothing but adding one bit to this. Okay, that gives me 2's complement. Now the result of this, what? Okay, so this is 0 and 1, it's going to be 1, right? And 1 0 is going to be same number. Okay, 1 0 or 1 1. So 1, no, this is going to be same, right? So that's it, no carry values. So it's going to be same 0 1 0, and here 1 1 1, 4 ones. Just it's the 2's complement applies. So if there is a, if in the case there you have a bit 1 here, then 1 with 1, so you have 1 and 1 carry forward value. That's a different way of calculating it. But here we have a 0, so 0 and 1, it's going to be 1, and then there are no carry forward things, so all remaining bits comes as it is. Okay, these bits comes as it is, and this is going to be 1. So if you look at this value and this value, both are same, right? So that is what we don't have a way to store the negative values in the memory. So what we do, will the 2's complement of the actual number, the 2's complement of the actual number is nothing but the negative value. And when you flip the 10, so when you flip the 10, this is what 10 value, right? When you flip the 10, so you are going to get this things. Okay, this thing. So that's how it arranges. Okay, that's how it arranges. So if you apply this tilde operator, you are going to get what? Minus 11. If you apply this complement operator on 10, you are going to get this value. This value is nothing but minus 11. This value is nothing but minus 11, negative value. That's what we don't have a direct way to store negative values in the memory. So 11's 2's complement is a negative value. So if you calculate 11's 2's complement, that you are going to get the same thing. Okay, so that's how the bitwise operations works. Okay, if you can understand, that's well and good. Otherwise, you can just you can ignore it. Okay, because like we don't use this in regular development. Okay, because there are cases where it depends on the project you will be working on, but that will be a rare case. Okay, right. So these are the bitwise operators. These are the bitwise operators. Any confusions around this, or any more discussion is required? Are you good? Good. Perfect. Okay. So I hope you are good. You are also good. Okay. Bitwise operators. Okay. The next thing and the last thing what we have is ternary operator. Okay. What we have is ternary operator. Let's talk about that. So ternary operator is, it applies on three variables. Okay. It applies on three variables. Okay. So ternary, so as the name it says, ternary, so it deal with the three variables. Okay, it deal with the three variables. Ternary operator deal with three variables. Unary operators are going to deal with unary operators deals with one variable. Binary operators deals with two variables. Ternary operator deals with three variables. Okay, three variables. Okay, now so how I'm going to write in general, right? So and where we do write this. Okay, say for example, conditionally I wanted to change my value. Okay, conditionally I wanted to change my value. Say for example, I have a boolean property. Okay, boolean property is promotion to be applied or not applied, is promotion applies, okay, or eligible. Okay, that's a flag. Okay, initially I have a value false. I have a value false. Now conditionally I wanted to check is a new customer. So just I have assumed that I have another flag is customer, is a new customer. Okay, but now I'm just taking as a false. So conditionally I can say that if it is a new customer, then I wanted to, with a new customer, that I wanted to apply the promotion. He's eligible for that. So then what I'm doing is I'm just keeping it true. Otherwise I am not going to do anything. So but for guys to understand, just I'm writing else block here, because initially, okay, just I marked this as false, or say for example I don't give that also. Then so what I do is promotion eligible, I'll make it false. Okay, so so what is the logic here? If the customer is a new customer, that I wanted to give the promotion, okay, some offer, okay, promotional offer. Okay, so if he is an existing customer, no, I don't want to give anything. So conditionally depends on something else. Conditionally, I'm reinitializing this flag. I'm reinitializing this variable, right? I'm reinitializing this variable. Right, so this is my flag. This value I am applying, this value I'm initializing with the true or false conditionally, not directly, right? So it depends on this particular variable. What is that variable? Is new customer variable. If it's a new customer, then apply the promotion, otherwise don't apply it. So this is what my requirement, this is what we can do using simple if else logic. These if and else are conditional statements. Okay, if is a new customer, then do this, otherwise do this. So instead of writing this elaborately like this, we can write this in a trim way, okay, short way. So that is what, so here itself, like while initializing it in a single line, I can do this value. Okay, so depending on this particular flag is new customer, okay, question mark. If it's a new customer, then what I wanted to do, I wanted to assign this value with the value of 2. Otherwise I wanted to assign what, false. Okay, so this is what we can achieve this in a single line. Instead of initializing it here and doing all this across here, what I can do is I can simply do it in a single line. That's where the ternary operator is going to help. That's where the ternary operator is going to help. Understand? Anyhow, this is a new customer or not, that will be driven from the functionality, right? Maybe we'll get to know, that might be getting from the database to know whether it's a new customer or not. Okay, so there will be logic to initialize this use new customer. So now I'm directly giving a false or true, because just we are practicing basics. Okay, but in real time, these variables are going to be driven from the functionality, from the, you can retrieve that from the database, or some other uh, source, okay, from other application as a JSON, or however, it's all depends. Okay, so is a new customer, then is eligible for promotion? Yes. If it's an existing customer, no, he's not eligible. So that is what it works. So let me print this system of println. Okay, I wanted to print is promotion eligible or not. Okay, so is promotion eligible or not. Let me compile it and ternary operators. False. The result is what? False. So meaning that what, he is not eligible. So is giving this output, false as output, meaning that this variable is initialized with false. Meaning that what, he is if he's a new customer, then I'll go and get this value is initialized to this particular variable. If it is not a new customer, then this value go and initialize to this. So now in our case, we are getting false. So we are getting false in the sense what, he's not a new customer. His new customer value is what, given false, meaning that is not a new customer. Okay, excuse me. Right, that's all. A simple syntax. Okay, if you write the syntax, variable, okay, is equal condition question mark value 1 colon value 2. Simple. This is a simple syntax. Okay, so here what variable you wanted to initialize. Okay, and this is a condition depending on that. Okay, based on this condition, it initialize the either value 1 or value 2 this variable. This condition, when I say condition, this can be this result, this should be evaluated true, either true or false, evaluated to true or false. So this can be an expression, something like x greater than y. This is an expression, right? And this is going to give either true or false. So this kind, any kind of expressions, okay, that evaluates to true can be used as a condition. Can be used as a condition. That's what the story of it. So here you take another example. Okay, I wanted to initialize some variable. Okay, a new variable z, where I have a values x and y. In these are x value is 10, y value is okay 20. Okay, okay, now I am going to assign this, either it is a small or big. Okay, it's x small, something like I'm taking a variable. What is my variable? Is x small. I wanted to initialize, I wanted to say, is it x small or not. So I'm going to give, if x is less than y, then x will be small, right? Then I'll say true, x is small, otherwise I'll say it is not. Okay, it is not. That's how I can simply um, evaluate. So is x small? So it depends on the value, it's going to define whether x is a small value or not. If you change these numbers dynamically, so it depends on that. So it will say always either x is a small value or not. True. Now it is saying true. True means what? X is smaller than y. Yes, of course, 10 is smaller than 20. Okay, let me change my value. 100 I have given to X now. Now it should say what? Let me recompile it. It should say what? False. False means no, it's not small. X is small. Is X small? No, it is saying false. That's how you can use these. You can use these ternary operators. Okay, you can extend this for any number of levels also, meaning that so again here the value 2 again, to initialize this value 2 again, you can write another conditional operator. So here again you can write another condition value colon value 3. So something like you can have nested ternary operator as well. So we can apply nesting of ternary operators also. You can give it a try and let me know if you have if you face any issues around this. We can discuss that in next session. Okay. Yeah, are you good with this? Hope you understand. It's clear. Okay, right. So there is another concept of operator precedence. Operator precedence. Okay. When you wanted to calculate some expression, evaluate some expression where it involves multiple operators, say x plus y division z minus x, okay, star y, something like this. So how it is going to evaluate? So now x value is say 5, y value is say 4. So for example, okay, and the z value is also there, right? Okay, z value is say 1. Now, what is the value of this, guys? What is the value of this? Meaning that how it is going to evaluate? X value is 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4 on division 1 minus x star y 4, right? So this is the result of it. Now, how it is going to calculate? How it is going to calculate? So is it going to calculate in left to right by default? Meaning that 5 plus 4 9, 9 division 1 minus 5 star 4, again 9 division 1, so it's going to be 9 minus 5 star 4. 9 minus 5 is what? 4. 4 star 4. So the result is 16. Is that true? Is that true? So you understand what I am trying to say here is operator precedence. I have these values, okay, into value, x value 5, y value 4, z value 1, right? Now I am printing this expression system dot out dot println of, I'm just printing the expression. What is that expression? X plus y division z minus x star y. Come on, so can we run and see is that our understanding is correct, or is it going to give any error, or it gives a different output than 16? So that's where you have to understand the operator precedence. There is some error. Why? Oh, y already I have y value here, so again you are trying to do y value. So let me take something else. Okay, let me take ABC, A, B, C. Okay, so A plus B division C minus A multiplication B. Okay, let's do this. It's all about a compilation error of or duplicate variable names. We are not allowed to use the same variable again and again. Okay, within the same context or within the same scope. So now, come on. Okay, where is that? Why it is not printing? Why it is not printing ternary operators? Okay, it is printing only up to this. Did I compile properly? So Java C ternary operators dot Java ternary operators dot, yes, compiled Java ternary operators and execute. Come on, guys. Why it is not giving any output? No compilation errors, no runtime errors. Okay, and it's not giving any output
Executed,
also.
right? -11 is the answer, right?
What is that?
It's executed, right? -11 is the answer for that.
So executed, is it? It's what is the output?
-11, right?
Is that I missed? I missed it. Okay, okay. So this is the third statement. How many print statements we have? 1, 2, 3. Oh, the result is -11. Okay, but that is not what, as per our understanding, that is not the result, right? It was 16, right? So meaning that so our analysis and our evaluation is wrong. So we have to evaluate this as per okay operator precedency. That's where when you are using multiple operators all together, there are priorities. So first maybe multiplication takes priority, or minus takes priority, or division takes priority, or like there is priorities. Based on that, it is going to evaluate the things first. Meaning that maybe say the same expression, say for example, multiplication takes priority. Assume that. Now what will happen? So here, first it is going to evaluate 5, 4, 20. It is going to become -20. Then you have x plus y division z -20. Now, so we have addition, we have division, and subtraction. So out of these, what gets priority? Is it going to get the priority for addition or division? So you should know the priorities. Okay, so that's what I will share the operator precedency chart with you, so you follow that and calculate this. Okay, now so plus is higher priority or division is a higher priority? Plus is higher priority or division is higher priority? Okay, plus is higher priority. Okay, plus is higher priority. Then x plus y becomes what is the x value? 5 plus 4, it becomes what? 9. And then division operation is going to apply. What is the z value? I have given 1 minus 20, correct? 9 division 1 is what? 9. 9 minus 20, 9 minus 20 is what? Minus 11. This is what the output. So meaning that, so here star gets higher priority, right? Then division, then addition gets higher priority, then division gets priority, then subtraction gets priority. So this based on the priorities you have to evaluate, so that you will get to know exact output. Okay, so I will share you the operator precedence chart. Just follow that and evaluate this. Okay, that's all about operators. Okay, in the next session we'll speak about flow controls, right? Okay, any doubts? You have any doubts? No doubts. Okay, okay, then yeah, we'll continue tomorrow with flow controls. These are basics. Basically, just if you have time, just run through them once and leave it. Okay, and tomorrow onwards we'll discuss flow controls, where actually once we finish the flow controls, we can start some programs, assignment programs. Okay, maybe tomorrow and day after tomorrow